is going to increase enormously, and Nigeria is projected to be the third largest population, the third largest country in the world. So, which that will mean there will be need for more agricultural product, and more so there will be need for palm oil in Nigeria. And right now, the palm oil industry in Nigeria is concentrated in the south-south. It's concentrated in the south-south. And because of the weather condition, south-south is a more favorable where we have this. Okay, we also have some in the southeast and also a little bit of southwest. So this is the palm oil sector. Looking at the worldwide, we're looking at, okay, what is the production worldwide as of 2023? We are seeing 40, we are seeing Indonesia, who are topping the league with 44 million tons. And then we have this followed by, we have Thailand. Sorry, we have Thailand there as well. We have Malaysia, we have Indonesia. Then Nigeria is fifth with 1.2 million. But this is a distant fifth, because if you look at the first person with 44 million, then Nigeria at 1.2 million, which is, though we are fit, but at a very distant position. So looking at this vis-a-vis our population, the consumption is about 2 million, but we are producing 1.2, which means that the rest is being imported. So which means a sector that still has a lot of opportunity for growth. So again, this is now the consumption. We saw earlier the production. This is now the consumption in Nigeria. At a big gap. So we can see oil production in Nigeria on the first graph. Then we can see the consumption. So there is always a big gap of what needs to be done. Now, this is just palm oil. But if you talk about oils and fats, Nigeria is consuming more than that, about 3 million of oils and fat. But then now reducing that to palm oil alone, that's where we're talking about 1.8 million. But of course, the rest is being imported. So like I mentioned earlier, you find the states that the palm trees are more good. We have that in about 24 states, which cuts across Akwa Ibom, majorly the Niger Delta, that is where it is more concentrated. Then you have two big players here. You have Okomo and Presco, who individually hold a sizable share of the market. Then now coming to Presco. So who is Presco? Presco is a Nigerian company, a fully integrated agro business established with palm oil plantations, palm oil mills, palm kernel crusher, with vegetable refinery and fractionation plant. Okay, in West Africa, Presco is a pioneer of olein and stearin packaging plant. Okay, we are the pioneer people who have an olein and packaging plant. Olein is a vegetable, is a name of one of our products. This is basically vegetable oil. So we supply this, we don't really do B2B. Presco does not really do B2C now. We do more to B2B. And we supply these products all through the year, though there are some periods where we have the peak seasons and we also have the lean seasons. But so during the peak season, we try to store, which will allow us to continue to supply our customers reliably throughout the year. So Presco has over 33 years of experience, and we are located in Edo State, in River State, and also in Delta State. We have a subsidiary in River State. So this is where we are. We have a land bank concession, a total land bank concession of over 55,000 acres in Nigeria alone. So when we talk about Presco, the business overview, Presco is 60% owned by Seat Envy. Seat Envy is a Belgian company which is the parent, the holding company for Presco. So they own 60% of the shares. Then who are the other majority? We have SIPML, who have 5.2%. Then the rest are owned by others. So majorly, you have two major shareholders. You can take as a block, Seat NV and SPML. Okay, so probably I'll just, so if we look at our revenue mix, we have quite a number of products that we're selling. We have CPO. CPO, we call that is crude palm oil. We also have refined products. Refined products, we have RBDO, we have Olein, like I mentioned earlier. Olein, that is the vegetable oil that ends finally in our pot. But that percentage of our percentage of Olein is very small as compared to what we sell to the B2B. So of course, we have some major customers. We have Pasta, we have Primaria, we have Chike, we have PZ Cousin, we have Aspira, we have Nestle. So these are some of our, we have Paracidor. These are some of our major customers. Then the evolution of Presco in Nigeria. Now, we can see that Presco was incorporated in 1991. We started the journey with 2,700 hectares of land in the Obaritin Estate, which is the headquarters of Presco. That's also where we have the mill, and that's where I'm sitting, I'm talking from now. Then in 93, there was an expansion to 3,000 hectares, the same in Obaritin. Then by 96 again, there was a further expansion. Then from there, we continue to increase. So this Presco history evolution actually divided into three. We have the formative years, which is from 1991 to 2001. Then we have a period of rapid growth that was 2001 to 2003. Then we have expansion with 2003 to 2024. So during these various periods, during the rapid growth, we saw Presco really growing, acquiring more land ban and increasing the plantation size. So right at this moment, in Obaritin, we have quite a number of hectares. Then in Ologo, we have 13,000, of which 8,000 is planted. Recently, we have another place, we call it Sakomba, okay, which about 14,000 hectares, a concession, 7,000 of that has been planted. We also had a small space. Okay, rubber is not our major thing. Then if you're coming to our milling capacity, we have 60 ton per hour milling capacity. Okay, this was the first one, which was expanded to 90 ton per hour. So right now our mill is 90 ton per hour of fresh fruit. So we can process 90 tons of fresh fruit bunches per hour. Then we also have a palm kernel crusher of 350 metric tons per day. Then 2021, we acquired Seat Nigeria, 100%. That is in Rivers State. Then also we had a vegetable refinery of 500 metric tons uh, per day. And additionally, this will be expanded very shortly. Okay, Presco has been around. Presco has done quite a lot, and this has attracted so many awards and recognitions. And these are some of the awards that Presco has gotten all over time. We have a lot of awards for training, for RSPDO, for ISO. Awards from, you can see most outstanding CEOs award, Merit Award Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. We got that. We got also from Edo and Delta State. We got from Stock Exchange. So these are showing recognizing the efforts that we are putting in developing our stakeholders. And then in terms of our sustainability, okay, we are committed. We have these 4 pillars. We have social, which is focusing on equal opportunity, freedom of association, occupational health and safety, anti-harassment and gender inclusion. Then we have people, recruitment, social charter and policy. We have compensation. We have grievance management and communication. Of course, also for environment, in all our estate, we have buffer zones. In buffer zones, we mean in our estate, we leave some areas to remain in their natural state, Then we also have zero tolerance for burning. So burning is not allowed in our facilities. Of course, we are doing planting. We are not doing deforestation. So we'll not go and cut down forests because we want to plant. We're only planting in areas that did not have forests. Then, of course, we're also looking at the economy. We are people, we are compliant with the law, with all regulations, okay, code of conduct, conduct of business, code of business conduct, sorry. Then what is our strategy? So we have some key strengths of the company. What are the key strengths of Presco? Presco is so we have financial stability. Presco has financial stability. We'll see that when we're looking at the numbers. We see our revenue has been growing up, and that also has translated into good margins. We have good margins. You can see we're talking about EBITDA of 63% in 2023, gross profit and EBITDA of 63% and 62% respectively in 2023. We also have interest cover, which that shows good strength. We have interest cover of 6.4 times. Then we have market presence. Presco is one of the largest palm oil producer in Nigeria. So we have this strong market presence. Like I mentioned earlier, we are supplying the B2B. We are supplying the industry, who in turns translate this into final consumers' goods. And we're doing some special products that certification that you can't get them from anywhere. So that makes us our presence very strong in the Nigerian market. Then in terms of award, like we saw earlier, Presco has won a lot of awards, many of them, such as Nigerian Stock Exchange Limited Annual President's Merit Award in 2007. We have the Institute of Government Research and Leadership Technology Best Oil Producer Development and Extraction Company Award 2012. Then, of course, we have ICANN Merit Awards, among others. Then, Strong Parent Company. We belong to a group called SIAT Group, like I'm sure I mentioned that earlier. This group has over 51,000 hectares of plantations, and hectares of rubber, 5,000 hectares of rubber as well, with a total barn land of more than 75,000 hectares across different countries. So we're actually present in 7 countries. Then in terms of investment in R&D, research and development, we continuously invest in research and development in highly performing hills. So what we do is to see how can we increase our yields, what can we do to maximize the use of the land that we have, so that on the same land we can produce more fruits, which will eventually be done into more oil. So that we
Oh
have
yeah.
a research department
Look, go ahead.
in partnership
Oh yeah.
with some universities around. Then in terms of production and marketing, for customer satisfaction, Presco achieved the following. Okay, we have certifications as well. We have ISO 2015 certification. We have FSSC 2000 certificate. We have HALA certificate. We have NAFDAC registration. We have RSPO. This among others. Okay, we are still looking at growing. We have not stopped. We are still aspiring to grow. So we want to increase our production capacity. We want to increase our processing capacity. So production capacity, this is producing the fresh fruit bunches. Processing capacity is the milling capacity. We also want to refine. We also want to increase our refining capacity. And then our bio energy. Right now, we are producing some of the energy that we're using, but want to move into a situation where we can be self-sufficient in our energy generation. So areas that we are looking to prioritize this, we are looking at to also improvement of agricultural equipment. We need to improve our storage capacity and loading, transport, and workshops, expansion of our operations as well. Okay, we're also looking at risks and what are the policies that we have in place just to make sure that our business is sustainable. So let me just take us to the financial highlights. Okay, so if I looking at the financial highlights, I'd like to mention before this, I'd like to mention that in the palm industry, the average life of trees is between 25 to 30 years after they are planted. And when you plant them, it takes you about 3 years after you have moved them from the nursery you plant. It takes you about 3 years for any fruit to start being harvested from it. Now, when you start harvesting from 3 years right up to the period of about 9 years, every year the harvest will be increasing in terms of the weight, in terms of the size. But when you get to 9 years, they'll get to maturity. Then from there, you are really harvesting good quality and good quantity of fruit. This will continue till uh, uh, 20 years, when the fruit will start reducing in sizes a bit, but still very, very profitable. But after 25 years, 26, you'll now start looking if that is still the case. But some will continue to 30 and over 30 years. Then after that, you will now think of replanting. You now think of putting down the trees and replanting. At this moment, So when your plantation is about 10 years, it means you still have another 15 years to enjoy of a guaranteed cash flow. Right now, our plantation, the average of our plantation is about 10 years. So what that means for us is that the results, the good results, the growth that we have been experiencing will continue for that period of time. Of course, we'll go beyond that because we continue to expand, we'll continue to plant. So if we look at in terms of our revenue, in terms of the growth, again here I'm looking at 2019 to half year 2024. So if we look at that, we can see that the story has been always an increase. Always an increase. Okay, in 2029, there was a slowdown, but from there on, in 2020, you can see we had a 21% growth. Then in 2021, this became 99%, this year-on-year comparison. Then by 2022, we had 71%. Of course, then in 2023, this percentage also increased again by 26. Now, by the end of half H1, we're at 83%. We're at 83%, and I can confirm to you that this 83% has been maintained for the rest of the year. So by the time we'll publish our numbers, we should be looking at a figure around this. Then again, if you also look at the gross profit, this also have really been going on, a combination of volume growth, efficiency in cost, and also the prices. But more importantly is the volume and efficiency in cost, because the volumes help us to get more revenue. And when we manage our cost better, then of course we can also see that this is translating into the margins. Again, we can see the margins also moving up. And then if we look at H1 more particularly in 2024, we can see margins as high as 75%. Okay, this is a trend that we hope to continue to maintain. Then we look at our EBITDA. Okay, of course, the story has not really changed, except if we look at 2022, we saw a dip. This was the year when we had a full consolidation of SN, that's SIAD Nigeria. We got SIAD Nigeria around November 2021. So full year consolidation was in 2022. And by then, it was still, we were still at the investing stage. We were still investing in that asset. When I mean investment, we're doing a lot of replanting. So of course, when we are replanting, you will not find a lot of fruits to harvest, no sale. Yet again, if we also look at that in terms of the profit before tax, again, it's a good story, except again for that 2022, which is for the same explanation. But after that in 2023, we can see that we have 49%. Then by half year 2024, we're at 57%. So this in terms of our equity, our total equity, you find that 2019, we are 27.8 billion. Then by the end of H1 2024, this has really grown to 71.7 billion. Then of course, this also following as we're investing, the asset keep on increasing. You can see that the assets have really grown as well. And this will continue as we look forward to continue to invest. Then, of course, these are some of our, this is our borrowing as at H1 2024. Thank you. I think I've come to the end of my presentation, and I'll be happy to interact at this stage. Hello?
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate the
Thank you.
presentation. Right, so we would like, if you have questions, kindly drop them in the group chat. These questions only so that it will be easy for Mr. Johnson to pick and answer. If you have any questions, please drop them in the group chat. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, we have
Yes,
a
please.
question for you. We have a question from Ola Bingpe in the group chat. It says Presco annual report highlights a connection with Germany as a revenue source. Could you clarify the nature of your geographic scale landscape? Does Germany represent your primary exports destination, or are there other key international markets?
Okay, thank you for that. I'll start by saying that the last time we exported was in 2022, but again, export is an insignificant part of our revenue. Like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, Nigeria as a country, the consumption is higher than the production. Consumption of palm products, they're higher than production. So basically, consumption is supported by import. So basically, all what we produce is being sold here locally, and that is not even meeting the demand. So for exports, that's why for the past 2 years, since 20, we did nothing, no export in 23 and no export in 2024. So the answer is it forms a very insignificant part of our export. And the last time we exported was to Germany. But of course, it's not only limited to Germany. When we're exporting, we could also export to other destinations. But Germany was a major destination.
All right, thank you, sir. Another question, how have your product prices evolved historically, and what factors have influenced these changes?
Okay, you know, the palm oil, the prices are internationally benchmarked, just like you find the price of gold, you find the prices of crude oil. So these prices are benchmarked internationally, and we try to follow that as well. Of course, we also consider local circumstances, which are what are the cost, and some other issues. But basically, these are the things that are being considered. And of course, if you look at, in terms of Naira, if you look at the strength of the dollar against the Naira, then of course that will means there have been some inflation and here and there, which that also has been factored in our prices. So we looked at the international prices, of course, which has also been impacted by inflation as a result of the strength of the dollar against Naira. Then our cost of production and some other local circumstances, these are put together to come to our prices. But of course, if you look at between 20, over the years, you can also see that the prices, just like the prices in other industries, our prices too have moved upwards significantly as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Another question, sir. I noticed that the company has quite high debts. What does a large chunk of the debt and borrowing go into?
Okay. A little bit of background. In the palm oil, it requires a lot of investment and long-term investment, in the sense that for you to, when I was talking about planting earlier, about the lifespan of the tree, I mentioned 25 years to 30. Then when you plant, you need at least 3 years before you can start harvesting. Okay, it goes beyond 3 years because you have to do pre-nursery. You have to keep the seeds in the pre-nursery. You have to also take them to nursery, which is about another 2 years. So eventually what it means is that if you invest in agriculture in a palm today, you need at least 5 years to start thinking of getting any cash flow from that. So with that little background, I would say the chunk. So the loans we are taking is for the plantation. All the loans is to do replanting. I mentioned earlier that SN Nigeria that we acquired in 2021, they did a lot of new replanting, which that just started generating some cash flow last year, significant cash flow last year. So we do that, and also for industrial expansion. We're also doing that for industrial expansion because we are also expanding our industrial capacity. And now of that, we have a bulk part of that loan, which is a bond. We had a Series 1 bond, which was taken in 2021. Of course, we went through that because of the cost of funds. Of course, the bond was cheaper for us, and it also gave us a long term of 7 years, which that was good for our kind of business, and we went for it. So, in summary, we use it to plant the trees, maintain them until they are ripe for harvest. Then we are also expanding our milling capacity. Then the chunk of that is a bond, not a commercial loan. Thank you.
Right. In your annual report, sir, you mentioned plans to plant an additional 10,000 acres over 5 years, which is expected to boost your yield per hectare. How does the company plan to align its milling and refining capacity with the anticipated increase in crude palm oil production?
Okay, thank you so much. Right now, in one of our estates, there is already work on ground. Not only work on ground. We're putting up a new refinery, which will okay, it's in 3 phases. The total capacity of that refinery is 190 tons per hour. Right now, we have 90 tons per hour. So, which means by the time we finish that refinery, a mill, we will be talking about 270 tons per hour. Now we're doing the phase 1, which will give us 50 tons per hour. So that we have taken into consideration, even as we're expanding, we're also expanding our industrial capacity. Then the refinery, we have a refinery of 500 tons per hour now. This refinery can still serve us can still serve our needs up to 2029. And that same refinery, we have the opportunity to also increase that capacity to 750 tons per day. And that is also in plan. Yes.
Okay. So someone asked about your distribution channel. She said, hello, Mr. Johnson, what distribution channel is used to deliver to industrial and individual customers? What are your distribution channels?
Okay. We are doing, okay, like I mentioned earlier, we are doing B2B. We are doing B2B. I would say 98% are B2B. So I would say last year we are doing B2B. Now for B2B, we have trucks. We have a few trucks, and also customers, they have their own trucks. So we do X factory, which means the customer come to the mill and pick their product, or we deliver to the customer's destination with our own means. Our own means, we have trucks and we also have hire trucks. So we have own trucks, and then we also have third-party trucks that are tankers, sorry, that are also delivering for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What are the regulatory challenges that Presco faces in its operation, and how is the company navigating this?
Okay, in terms of regulation, we're a company that believes in compliance. We do everything to know what are the new laws. First of all, we need to know what are the existing laws. And then we strive to make sure that we stay within the law. We are compliant. Then, like we are in the food industry, which is very, very regulated. We have so the challenges in meeting those regulations on us is that it comes at a higher cost. Let me talk as a finance person. In getting compliance, full 100% compliance, it comes as a higher cost because in some cases you need to bring in some experts. In some cases you need to put a lot of measures in place, which of course that will cost you more money. But then, so that is for me, that is a challenge on that, which increases our cost of production. Thank
All
you.
right, sir. Thank you. All right. So someone asked about your about the biogas plant which treats your effluent. Is this the same biogas plant in your waste to wealth scheme, or are they different? Furthermore, in your key areas for
Sorry, can you take that question again?
Okay, you talked about a biogas plant which treats your effluent. Is this the same biogas plant in your waste to wealth scheme, or are they different? Furthermore, in your key areas for improvement, you talked about using methane. How do you obtain that methane?
Okay.
The biogas is methane.
Sorry, I would like to introduce our CEO who just came into my office. I think the question came at the right point. This is CFA Society of Nigeria, Chartered Financial Analyst. So we're presenting to students.
Okay. The biogas plant, what it does, it captures the effluent, the mill effluent, the palm oil mill effluent, which still has a lot of organic material in it. It captures it in an environment without oxygen, where bacteria break down the organic compounds and they produce what we call biogas, which is a variety of different gases together, but mostly methane. This methane is used in our boiler that is providing the steam and the heat for our refinery.
All right. Thank you very, very much, sir. So someone said something about, the question is, there is information about intentions to acquire a new company, Ghana Oil. How true is this, and what impact do you do the project, and what impact do you project this will have on your overall business? Seeing 2022 review after acquisition of SEAT Nigeria, and how do you plan on mitigating the effects?
Sorry, maybe if you can take that question again, please.
There is information about intentions to acquire a new company, Ghana Oil. How true is this, and what impact do you project this would have on your overall business? Seeing 2022 review after acquisition of SEAT Nigeria, and how do you plan on mitigating this?
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, I can confirm that yes, GeoPDC, we have acquired it. And the impact that it will bring to the business, of course, we have looked at all that. And it's going to be a very positive impact. GeoPDC is a very profitable business. It's a very, very profitable business. So for sure, it's going to add to our profitability. And then we'll have to also bring in synergies. We'll have to enjoy synergies between the two companies. What really happened with SNL, with SEAT Nigeria, like I mentioned earlier, was the fact that they just planted. Okay, they were still replanting. As at the time we took them over, they were still replanting. Of course, at that stage, you have more of assets with assets that have not started healing. But if you, by the time we publish our accounts for 2024, you see that the contribution of SEAT Nigeria has significantly uh, improved, really, really improved. And for GOPDC, we will not need to wait. It has to be immediate. It has to be immediate. I can assure you that by the time we go to the to the public with our accounts, you really see that impact. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We would soon be through with our questions. I have about 3 more questions for you. So one of this is, how do you manage the risk associated with your funding strategy, especially given the interest rate environment and the potential impact on your profitability and cash flows?
Okay, that's a very interesting one. That's a very interesting one. Okay, we try to do a combination of things because the finance cost is really a cause of concern. We try to do a number of things. First of all, we try to make sure we get the best deals uh, in terms of our investment size. Then after that, we look at a combination of so many things. Okay, the last thing we want to do is to go through commercial loans. Okay, that's only the last option. But we try to look at other sources, like we go with, like right now we are doing a bond. There's a bond that we have just done to complete the acquisition of, to pay for the acquisition of GOPDC. Because bonds are a cheaper source of loan and with a repayment period that is more convenient. And then also we look at Bank of Industry. Bank of Industry come with very good pricing. So we also look at those options so that we can mitigate against the risks of the increasing finance costs. Because when you get from commercial banks, once the MPR moves, of course, you know your rate too has moved up. So we try to mitigate by doing a combination of the bond, the Bank of Industry, and a bit and some of the commercial loans. Thank you.
All right, sir. Now your governance structure is what is being questioned here. How does Presco ensure a smooth board succession process that aligns with its long-term sustainability and growth strategy?
Okay, thank you. I think I didn't talk about corporate governance. Okay, we have a very strong corporate governance starting from the board. We have a board that is very diverse. We had a board that comprises of 4 nationalities from different backgrounds. We have on that board, you have administrators, you have chartered accountants, you have engineers, and you have agriculturists. So it's a very diverse board and with many years of experience. Now, the board is subdivided. We also have, the board is subdivided into committees. We have the board audit risks and governance committee. We have board finance and investment committee. So these committees, they meet regularly. Of course, we also have the statutory audit committee. So these committees, they meet regularly to review and discuss and recommend various issues that are within their role of responsibility and recommend them to the board, which in turns the board will also deliberate on that. If they are happy, this is now approved. Then when this is approved, this is now handed down to management for execution. Then at level of management as well, we also have corporate governance. We also have how do we run the business, who is doing what are the meetings that has to take place, when and when do you meet, and when are you discussing, how are decisions being made. All these are defined in our corporate governance, and which so far has been working for us, and we'll continue to improve on that, especially as we are looking forward, or probably I didn't say that, we are having ambition. Okay, right now we are leader in Nigeria, but we want to become a very distant leader in Nigeria in the next 5 years, and also want to become a leader of this palm oil and fat in Africa, edible oils and fat in Africa. So with that, of course, we're strengthening our corporate governance again and all our other structures. Thank you.
All right. And lastly, sir, you mentioned that Presco is not self-sufficient in terms of energy. Are there any short-term plans to achieve this? Currently, what energy sources does the company rely on, and who supplies this energy?
Okay, we are using a combination of three energies. We, like I said, we are generating biomass. Then we're also using the national grid. Then also we're also running. We have some generators that we're also running. So basically, those are the three sources we're using at the moment.
Thank you so much. But this student has been repeating this question, so let me just give him the opportunity. It says the 2020 and 2021 reports of the company didn't disclose fully its operational results. Can you provide data on the quantity of crude and refined products sold at those years?
Oh, okay. Okay, that information can be provided, but I'm not sure I have it handily with me now. Okay, I'm not sure I have that information handily. Quantity, okay, I want to know quantity of products sold in 2021.
2020 and 2021.
Okay, if you can give me just a moment.
Okay, 2020, yes, 2020 and 2021. Thank you.
Okay, you can just give me a moment. I'll give you that information.
All right, sir.
Just a moment, please. I'm getting that from the
No.
system.
No problem, sir.
In 2020, we had 58,000 tons of refined product.
Okay.
No, sorry. Okay, that includes our product, but refined product was 52,000 tons of refined product.
Okay.
That was in 2020. And in 2021, let me pull that up also. So in 2021, 60,000.
Okay. In 2021 was 60,000. And in
No, in 20,
2020, you
yeah,
said
52,000.
all right, 52,000. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Johnson Amado, we say a big thank you on behalf of the CFA Society in Nigeria, on behalf of the Investor Relations Committee that has put this together. We say a big thank you, especially to Presco and for you joining us and presenting to us. We do appreciate it. On behalf of the University Relations, we say a big thank you to the students that are online. We have over 83 students online from 26 different universities in Nigeria. They'll be participating in the research challenge. So they'll be analyzing your company, what you've explained to us, what they've read online. So I would kindly request that if it's possible, can we have your presentation for them to also, delve further on it, study it on their own so that it could help them with their report, if possible. If it's not, no problem. But on behalf of the faculty advisors, we say thank you. On behalf of the staff of the CFA Society, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to more positive relationship with the Presco company. So we would reach out to you. If we can get your slides, we would appreciate it. Once again, sir, thank you very much. And we do
Okay.
appreciate
Thank you very much for the slides. Okay, I'll check that. I'm not sure yet, but I'll check that and then we can discuss that.